The rescue ambassador Marcus Vale had always prided himself on diplomatic precision. But precision meant nothing when the chemical processing plant in Mirellan 4's lower districts erupted in toxic flames. The orange-green smoke billowing from the facility was lethal to Cathari physiology. Their copper-based blood couldn't process the industrial compounds without fatal oxidation, while Mirellan emergency responders maintained a safe perimeter. Marcus heard something that made his blood freeze. A child's scream echoing from within the burning complex. "Sir, you cannot." Diplomatic aide Tobias Kern grabbed his arm. "The atmospheric readings show." Marcus shrugged him off. Human lungs could handle what would kill a Cathari in minutes. He wrapped his jacket around his face and plunged into the acrid maze of corridors. The screaming led him deeper, past melting support beams and pools of caustic runoff. In a collapsed maintenance chamber, he found her a small Cathari child, perhaps 8 in human years. Her normally silver skin turned an alarming bronze from chemical exposure. Her breathing was shallow, labored. Marcus scooped her up, her 4-fingered hands clinging weakly to his shirt. The heat was incredible, but humans had evolved in Africa's furnaces, while the Cathari came from cool, mineral-rich caves. His advantage. Journey back seemed endless. Twice he stumbled, coughing violently as his makeshift mask failed. The child grew heavier, her grip weaker. But Marcus pressed on, driven by something deeper than diplomacy's simple human stubbornness. Emergency medical teams swarmed them as they emerged. Marcus collapsed, his lungs burning, while Cathari physicians worked frantically over the child. Through oxygen-starved haze, he heard rapid-fire medical terminology in their clicking language. "She lives," Dr. Vexhai announced hours later as Marcus sat in the embassy's medical bay. The human ambassador's quick action prevented permanent damage to her respiratory matrix. "Good," Marcus wheezed. That's what matters." "Indeed. Though I should inform you, the child is Zayara, daughter of Lady Velenara of House Kethmaro, a very significant bloodline." Marcus waved dismissively. "Doesn't matter. Any parent would do the same for any child." Dr. Vexhai's antennae twitched, the Cathari equivalent of raised eyebrows. "I wonder if you'll feel the same in 2 days, Ambassador. Lady Velenara is traditional." Marcus didn't understand the warning then. He was too busy being proud of humanity's best instinct running toward danger to save the innocent. It never occurred to him that some cultures might see such heroism as a transaction requiring payment. But traditions carved in stone across millennia rarely care about good intentions. The binding 2 days later, Marcus was reviewing trade agreements when his aide Tobias burst into his office, face pale. "Sir, there's a Cathari delegation at the embassy gates. Formal ceremonial dress, security detail, the works. They're requesting immediate audience." Marcus frowned. "Did they specify the nature of their business?" "Lady Velenara herself leads them. She carries the Velfek, the binding chains." Marcus knew enough Cathari customs to feel his stomach drop. The Velfak were used in only the most sacred ceremonies. "Send them in." The delegation filled his office with clicking footsteps and the rustle of ceremonial robes. Lady Velenara was striking even by Cathari standards tall, elegant, her silver skin bearing the intricate scarification of high nobility. Her daughter Zayara stood beside her, healthy but solemn. Without preamble, Velenara knelt and placed the golden chains at Marcus's feet. "By the ancient code of Thelvari, I declare life debt absolute. You preserve the bloodline of House Kethmeral. In return, I bind my existence to your will. My body, my honor, my service all are yours. I will not resist this sacred obligation." "Lady Velenara, please stand up," Marcus said desperately. "I can't accept. Refusal brings dishonor to my house and death to my bloodline," she interrupted. The bioancestral AI Kethmori has already recorded your genetic signature. The binding is complete. What does that mean? Her eyes large, multifaceted like an insect's fixed on him with disturbing intensity. Your DNA is now registered. In the Cathari Codex, you are bound by our laws. Violation of the life-debt contract triggers automatic termination protocols. Termination? Death, Ambassador. The nanites introduced during the ceremony ensure compliance. Marcus felt something cold in his veins. Not fear, but fury. You drugged me? The binding requires biological integration. It was necessary. Tobias stepped forward. Sir, we need to contact Earth Command immediately. This could be considered an act of... No, Marcus said quietly. His diplomatic training kicked in. Getting angry wouldn't help anyone, especially Zayara, who watched with wide, frightened eyes. Lady Velinara, explain the terms. Simple. I serve you until death. In return, you protect House Kethmoral S interests. Refuse, and the nanites activate. Marcus studied her carefully. Something felt wrong, too convenient, too prepared. And what exactly do you need protection from? For the first time, Velinara hesitated. There are complications within Cathari nobility, political rivals who would see my house fall. So this isn't just tradition. You need a human ally. Her silence was answer enough. The conspiracy that night, Marcus couldn't sleep. The weight of invisible nanites supposedly coursing through his bloodstream was psychological, but the political implications were very real. He'd been maneuvered into something far more complex than a cultural misunderstanding. His personal communicator chimed encrypted channel. Dr. Vexhi's voice emerged, cautious and low. Ambassador, we must speak privately, not at the embassy. The old mining tunnels, Section 7. Come alone. An hour later, Marcus navigated the abandoned copper extraction sites that honeycombed Merellin 4's substrate. Dr. Vexhi waited in a chamber lit only by portable illumination, his normally calm demeanor replaced by obvious anxiety. The fire wasn't accidental, he said without preamble. Marcus felt pieces clicking together. Industrial sabotage? Targeted assassination. Someone wanted Zayara dead, knowing it would destroy Lady Velinara politically. Children are sacred in Cathari. Culture losing one brings automatic disgrace to the bloodline. But I saved her, which created an opportunity Velinara couldn't ignore. The life debt tradition gave her legal grounds to bind a human diplomat to her house. Suddenly, her enemies faced not just Cathari politics, but potential human intervention. Marcus processed this. She used me. She saved herself. And possibly you as well. The bioancestral AI monitoring system? It's real, but not in the way she described. The nanites don't kill, they track. Every Cathari noble has them. It's how. The ruling council maintains control. So I'm not actually in danger? Dr. Vexhi's antennae drooped. Oh, you're in terrible danger. Just not from nanites. Lord Kethvor of House Malfik has declared you a contamination of pure Cathari bloodlines. His assassins are already en route. Assassins? The binding ceremony was broadcast across Cathari networks. Traditional factions see human integration as an abomination. Progressive factions see it as evolution. You've become the flashpoint for a civil war. Marcus laughed bitterly. So I'm either Velinara's political pawn or a target for xenophobic extremists. Both, but there's something else. Velinara's research focuses on human Cathari biological compatibility. She's been studying your species for years. Studying us for what? Enhanced atmospheric tolerance, improved chemical resistance, extended. Operational parameters under stress conditions. The fire wasn't random, Marcus. It was a field test. The implications hit him like a physical blow. She engineered the situation. put her own daughter at risk to see if I'd react predictably. Humans are remarkably consistent in emergency responses. Your heroic instincts are quantifiable. Marcus felt rage building, not the diplomatic kind he could control, but the raw, human fury that had once driven his ancestors to hunt mammoths and cross oceans. Where is she? The truth Marcus found Lady Velinara in her private study within the embassy's guest quarters, surrounded by holographic displays showing human physiological data. She didn't look up when he entered. You know, she said simply, that you used your daughter as bait? That you've been studying humans like lab specimens? That this entire ancient tradition was calculated manipulation? Marcus kept his voice level, but his hands were clenched. Yeah, I figured it out. Zayara was never in real danger. The fire was controlled, the chemical mixture precisely calibrated. Cathari physiology cannot tolerate it, but human respiratory systems process it as minor irritant. I knew you would save her. You risked the child's life for political leverage. I risked everything to prevent genocide. The word hung between them. Like a blade, Marcus sat down slowly. Explain. Velinara manipulated the holographic display, showing stellar charts of Cathari space. Red zones mark dozens of systems. Climate change across our core worlds. Industrial pollution has altered atmospheric composition beyond our species' tolerance. We have perhaps 50 years before mass population centers become uninhabitable. So relocate. You have the technology. To where? Every habitable world within reach is claimed. The Terran Federation controls the most suitable planets, but your species has shown little interest in large-scale colonial partnerships. Marcus studied the projections. The Cathari faced extinction, and their proud culture was too rigid to simply ask for help. So you decided to bind yourself to a human diplomat, to demonstrate that cooperation is possible, that our species can coexist, that humans and Cathari together are stronger than either alone, by lying and manipulating. By showing your leaders that we can be trusted allies, not just desperate refugees. The life debt creates legal framework for integration. Your protection of House Kathmaru proves human commitment to Cathari survival. Marcus felt the weight of species-level politics settling on his shoulders. And if I refuse, then you die, and my house falls, and the xenophobic factions gain evidence that humans cannot be trusted. War becomes inevitable. War? Velinara's expression was grim. Desperate. People take desperate measures. If cooperation fails, some factions advocate military conquest of human colonies. It would be ... catastrophic for both species. Marcus leaned back, mind racing. The elegant trap was complete refuse and enable disaster. Accept and become complicit in manipulation. But there was a third option, the one humans specialized in. There's another way. What? The truth. Not manipulation or binding ceremonies or political theater. Just honest cooperation between equals. Marcus stood. I'll help. Your people. But as partners, not through some archaic ownership contract. The traditionalists will never accept. Then we'll change their minds. Together. Starting with Lord Kethfer's assassination teams. Velinara's antennae twitched with surprise. You would fight for us? I'd fight with you. There's a difference. 4. The first time since their meeting, she smiled a purely human expression she'd learned during her studies. Perhaps that's why we chose your species. Alliance the assassination attempt came at dawn. Marcus was reviewing intelligence reports when Tobias burst in, weapon drawn. Perimeter breach. Multiple Cathari in stealth armor, moving fast. Marcus activated the embassy's defensive systems, but knew they wouldn't hold long against military-grade equipment. Through security monitors, he watched dark figures flowing across the compound with predatory grace. Where's Velanara? Safe room with Zayara. Get me a line to the Cathari Council. Sir, we don't have time. Do it. The connection opened just as the first charges detonated. Council Elder Vikmar's image appeared, his scarred features impassive. Ambassador Vale, I understand you're experiencing difficulties. Lord Kethvar's assassins are attempting to murder a human diplomat and a Cathari noble family. This ends now. The contamination must be cleansed. You have violated sacred bloodlines. Marcus. Heard weapons fire in the corridor. Actually, I've proven that cooperation works. Your atmospheric crisis? Solvable. Your population displacement? Manageable. Your cultural preservation? Guaranteed. But only through partnership, not murder. Impossible. Humans lack the biological compatibility. Check the data Velanara compiled. Humans can work in environments that kill Cathari. Cathari technology can enhance human capabilities. Together, we can terraform worlds neither species could claim. Alone, an explosion rocked the building. Through smoke, Marcus saw armored figures advancing. I offer formal alliance between the Terran Federation and Cathari Collective. Joint colonies, shared resources, cultural exchange. Your people survive. Our people grow stronger. Elder Thekmer hesitated. The traditionalists will not accept. Then, they can explain to their children why they chose extinction over evolution. The first assassin reached Marcus's office. But instead of weapons fire, he heard something unexpected. Cathari voices raised in argument. Through security feeds, he watched Lord Kethvar's soldiers stopping mid-assault, receiving urgent communications. Elder Thikma's image flickered. The council is discussing your proposal while your people murder diplomats? All Cathari forces stand down immediately. Return to designated positions. The elder's voice carried absolute authority. The assassins withdrew as quickly as they'd appeared, leaving only scorch marks and Marcus's racing heartbeat. Hours later, Lady Velanara found him on the embassy's observation deck, watching Merellan 4s. Twin moons rise over the chemical processing district, now being rebuilt with joint human Cathari environmental systems. The council voted for alliance, she reported. Lord Kethvar's faction was outvoted 7-3. And the life debt? Dissolved by mutual consent, though. She paused. House Kethmara would be honored to maintain ties with House Vale. Marcus smiled. House Vale? Your heroic actions have earned noble recognition. Congratulations, Lord. Ambassador. They stood in comfortable silence, watching human and Cathari workers collaborating below. Ziara ran through the compound's gardens, playing with human children from the diplomatic families. Did you really believe I'd choose partnership over politics? Marcus asked. I hoped. But humans are remarkably unpredictable. It's your species? Greatest strength and greatest weakness, perhaps. But it makes you excellent allies. Marcus considered the weight of genetic compatibility studies, cultural manipulation, and species-level diplomacy. Then he decided none of it mattered compared to a simple truth. When people worked together, impossible problems became merely difficult ones. So what happens now? Now we save two civilizations, together. Above them, human and Cathari ships began joint patrols of the system, while below, two species learned that the future belonged to those brave enough to build it.